Hello everyone, this is Martin with Steadfast and Orion in Houston, and I want to apologize because I've had a bit of writer's block. You can kind of say, I guess, if you want to call it that. I've always aimed to, when I started making these videos, I'm still new at this, but my aim was to always try to help someone learn something new about, warehousing, shipping, receiving, containers, trucking in general, or at least intermodal, what we do for a living, and primarily what my wife and I know for a living. Well, you know what I mean? But I've had a bit of writer's block because, lately we've been really busy, honestly. I've had a lot of content that I've recorded, but I haven't been able to put it out because I don't know what people want to learn. I don't know what people want to see. There's tons of things that we see and we do on a daily basis. Obviously, there's the trucking industry in general, the warehousing industry in general is huge. So we don't even scratch the surface of what's out there. But the little that we do know, the little that we do come into contact with, and we want to teach people, we want to show people what we do for a living and that we're an honest company. Now, what I want to also talk about is lately, because we've been so busy, I've prioritized, honestly, our business over making videos right now. I know I should be doing both things, but there's got to be a point to where a lifeline is thrown our way or something, because it's been challenging. The last few months have been challenging for the intermodal industry, at least for us it has been. There's good days and there's bad days at the ports. There's good days, there's bad days at warehouses. I'll be honest, warehouses don't really care too much about the necessities of a driver or a trucking company's needs. The ports, container yards, railroads, they do care more about the driver's needs, the trucking company's needs. They know that if the driver is held up for 4 hours at the port, that's less revenue for the driver, and that's less revenue for the customer, and that's less revenue for the trucking company. And overall, it's just bad for business. The ports and the container yards, they turn around less containers, so it's just it's bad for business. But warehouses, I've found in the last few months, and I want to say we're unique because I don't want to sound biased towards our warehouse, but we do have our own drivers, and we do know the difference between 30 minutes and then 2 hours. So a driver being held back for 4 or 5 hours at a time, it does make things go slower, go bad. It's just a domino effect. Now, there are facilities to where they'll tell you one thing and they'll do another. And the messed up part about this is that the driver's caught in the middle. The loose load containers, if you're going to unload a container by hand and you have an appointment, great. You assume as a trucking company that they have people on hand to unload this stuff. Sometimes customers don't tell us, especially or the warehouse, that it's going to be a loose load. And once the driver shows up, they pop the container doors and everyone's shocked because nobody's ready to unload a container that way. In some cases, they'll make the driver wait for hours on end. I've had it happen, 8 hours, 9 hours. Yes, they get paid waiting time, but I'll promise you, waiting time is easier said than done. It's easier, yes, we approve, but then when they go pay the invoice, a lot of them short pay it, and they short pay that. Or sometimes they'll pay less than the amount. I mean, it's just so many things that go wrong with with waiting time, detention charges, whatever. And in all honesty, I think most of the times trucking companies come out of pocket for that. But that's hasn't been too much the case lately. I think we've been able to keep track of it, but there's still people that, for whatever reason, it is what it is. Now, the warehouses that we have dealt with lately, some good, some bad, but the bad ones that openly tell you that it is not like for instance, we had a situation with the warehouse where it was a loose load, and I'm gonna go on for a few minutes on this video because I haven't posted in a while. There's been so many things that have been happening lately, and I hope if you guys listen to it through the whole time. My intentions have never been to make videos and hurt people's feelings or offend anybody, but I bring true awareness to what we do for a living in the industry. You know, I don't want to sound like a motivational speaker because I'm not. I don't know how to motivate people, I guess you could say, out there, but I do know that I care. I care a lot about customers, about drivers, about people, and it matters to me that people are out there doing the right thing, knowing the right thing, because I see things on Facebook and I see things on YouTube and I see things on LinkedIn, and some of them are good, some of them are bad, but I felt that I'm able to put my 2 grains of salt in there, and hopefully somebody, you know, learns from it and grows from it and can probably profit from it. So I have a feeling that the trucking industry needs to change, and I plan on talking about that change, and I plan on not offending anyone, and I don't want to call out names because I think that's all uncalled for. I don't think that companies deserve to have a bad name just because of 1 or 2 bad employees. That's just my opinion. We've dealt with a lot of big name companies in the transportation industry, and I promise you, the guys in charge, you know, they can't be everywhere at all times. And as an employee, I think that your aim, because I was an employee once as well, I think that your aim as an employee should honestly be to maximize the benefit of the company and the people around you. Because if the company grows, you should be able to grow as well. Yes, there has been companies who have forgotten that, who have not paid their people correctly or overworked them, you know, weekends, nights, and there's things that I think we need to adjust to. I mean, we get calls at 9 o'clock at night about deliveries on containers when we send an email, but yet they still wanted to call us on the phone to talk about it at 9 p.m. at night. Now, we don't mind, but sometimes, you know, there's schedules and there's people that, you know, I'm always on the phone. I'm always available at all times. I'll answer the phone at all times. But there are, you know, people need to sleep. I always tell them, like, our employees, yes, I'll backtrack. There are employees who I feel should not take their work home or bring their home to work. Yes, you're working from home sometimes, and it's difficult to separate, you know, your house life from your computer world that you're working on, like steamship lines, for instance. It's hard to get a hold of steamship lines because the majority of the people are working from home. So you send them an email. In some cases, they'll answer quickly, some steamship lines, and some steamship lines are honestly taking 2-3 hours to answer back. And you're calling the phone, but nobody's answering. And that's the hard part, because customers want quick responses, want quick results. Right now, unfortunately, not everything is as quick as it once was. I think we'll get back there sooner or later. But right now, there's just a lot that's lacking. Equipment shortages, it's real. I promise you guys. I said it in a video a while back. I post more on Facebook. I go on Facebook Live at 12 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday. And I said it on Facebook the other day. We're gonna end up returning empties back to the port because there's a shortage of containers, and the steamship lines are not gonna want us to take the containers to the container yards. They're gonna want us to take it directly to the port. That way they could load it directly onto the vessel, and the vessels could take empties back to wherever they gotta go. I said it on Facebook months ago. But we're the little guys. Not a lot of people listen to the little guys, but we do know what we're talking about. Yes, we're a small company, but we were around big name players in the Houston area. We know a lot of big name players in the Houston area. A lot of big name players know us in the Houston area, and they actually call us for advice, and we call them for advice. You know, we don't feel that the competition should always be aggressive. The elephant is big. You know what I mean? The pie is big. There's no need to be destructive over competition in any industry. If you have friends, you'll go a long way. You make mistakes along the way, but you'll go a long way. So, I promise you guys I'm going to come back with some more videos this week, both on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all that. It's going to be a challenging week. We're going to be short a person also this week, so please bear with me. But I appreciate it. And if you guys need any help in the Houston area, trucking or warehousing, we're here to help.